So when does Bezos come into the picture and say, because that was really out of left field. People are like, okay, Amazon's dabbling with this Amazon Prime Video. Maybe they're going to do some original programming, whatever. But then they buy they buy Twitch, and we're like, what was that about?
Yeah. So what happened?
How did that go down?
We ended up spinning out Social Cam. That went as its own company. A couple of years later, sold it to Autodesk. It went for $60 million. And
respectable.
Then, yeah, not bad. And then we ended up, kept working on Twitch over the years. Emmett became the CEO because he was really the product visionary behind Twitch and the driving force. And then after maybe 4 years of operation, and basically the first 6 months of Twitch, we set these milestones, and it just kind of grew every month. It grew and grew and grew, and then eventually, basically anything that gets big enough in Silicon Valley, there's kind of interest from all the FAANG companies. They're interested in it, and Amazon was interested, and I think they saw the value in the business. It was something where there's it's kind of like it was just turning the corner at the point to being kind of like Netflix. Like Netflix at first started off, you want to see a certain video, so you say, oh, is it on Netflix? And now you go to Netflix to find something to watch, right?
Right.
And I think Twitch was going through that transition in 2014, where at first you started to go, I want to see this certain type of video, or this certain broadcaster, or this certain content creator, and then to now like, oh, Twitch is a brand where I associate with a certain kind of entertainment, so I'm going to go there and watch. And so I think Twitch they saw this like longevity in it, and
And so that was in 2014.
That was September 2014.
That was the best day of your life up to that point, I think.
The day of my life that had happened, I remember. At this time, Emmett was running the company. I'm just on the board of directors. I'm non-operational in the company. Yeah. And so I went to Burning Man.
Yeah.
And the deal was supposed to close, and I'm like, they had my signatures in escrow or whatever, so I don't have to do anything. So I'm like, I'm going to be offline. I'm going to Burning Man, and it rains at Burning Man, and I woke up in a pool of water because I was sleeping in a little yurt that we made out of like construction foam. And so I woke up that day.
This is pre you having money, so you didn't have the ability to have a trailer. So
well, I also, you got to go. I wanted to go in a way that was more authentic.
Got it.
I like that part of it. So I woke up. It rained that night, and we didn't duct tape the tarp on into the sides of this construction foam.
You're in mud.
So I woke up in playa mud. And
delightful.
Later on, a friend of mine comes in. There's no cell phone service, and a friend of mine comes in, and he's like, "Congratulations!" So I knew it was on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That was your best burn then.
That was. It was.
Yeah. Did you go to the temple and put a Justin TV logo and
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, Justin TV. It is such an amazing, like almost decade journey of like.
It was 8 years, a crazy ride,
And 5 years of it, 6 years of it was just dismal.
We had fun times. I learned a lot, right? That's the most important thing is I was working with my friends, my very good friends. I learned a lot of like, I started from very bad at many things. I was tweeting about this last week, but I started with so few skills, right? Like no programming, barely any programming skills, horrible management and leadership skills, and didn't really understand anything about business, as evidenced by the fact that we tried to start a company about me broadcasting from my camera on my head.
Yeah.
And I learned so much through this process that even the dismal kind of sad times were very productive at the end of it. I look back fondly on them.
Yeah, it is the interesting thing about startups, especially in that era, because in the 2003 to 2008 era, people don't remember, but the dot-com era had crushed everybody's souls. You were in probably high school or college during the dot-com?
Yeah, I was high school and college, yeah.
Yeah, so you were watching that.
And I was like, I always want to participate, but I'm not young, I don't know anything. And
right.
I was like, it's over. I'll never get my other chance.
That window has shut.
Exactly.
The window for young people to make money is shut. I remember people saying that at the end of the dot-com boom.
Yep. Young people will never make money again.
Never again. Nobody will trust young people with hordes of capital to go change the world. And anybody who was building something between 2003 and 2008, I'd say between 2003 and 2007, by default, it was interesting because they weren't doing it to make money. There was no money in the system.
Exactly.
So Weblogs Inc., when we built Engadget, or Movable Type, or Dig, or Delicious, or Flickr, these were all passion projects by small teams that just wanted to see those products exist.
That's what I loved about Silicon Valley and San Francisco during that time, because people were just doing it not because they wanted to make money, because it was not a popular thing to do and it was not a good career path. They were doing it because they thought it would be cool. It was like a cool experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's see if we can actually get this website to exist in the world.
Yeah, and like, will people do it or interact with each other on this weird website?
Will people dig or Reddit this story?
Yeah.
Will people understand what that even means?
Exactly. And I love that. I love that sense of exploration. And I feel like, I know this is going to sound like the jaded, like sad guy, old guy, but like, I feel like there's a little bit of that that's missing now here in San Francisco, because there's a lot of, the culture has changed. It's matured, and people are coming here for their career now. They're like, okay, I want to like this is a good career move,
What's interesting about that is I think it's cyclical, because that actually happened in the dot-com era.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of it, people were like, okay, I'm graduating. I went to Harvard, got my MBA, and I'm going to go into .com.
Yeah, Pets.com, that's a good move.
And everybody flowed into Pets.com in every possible iteration. And the second it got hard, when the .com boom, they ran back to Goldman Sachs. They ran back to Madison Avenue to get an ad job. And it's, I call it tourist season. Like, we're in the middle of tourist season right now. It's high season.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people here like who are building companies. I don't know if their heart's really in it.
Yeah.
A lot of Me Too stuff. All right, when we get back, let's talk about your new company, Atrium, and how you raised, what, 90 million for this?
75 million.
Only 75.
A paltry 75.
A paltry 75. You're going big. You've got over 100 people working at Atrium. And
around the clock.
It's atrium.co, atrium.co. And I want to hear why you decided to try to disrupt, reinvent the legal system when we get back on This Week in Startups.